In today's video, we're going to talk about why your child is not yet talking and why there is a speech delay. Majorly parents, if you see, majority of the autism kids, ASD kids, or kids with a lot of developmental delays, they will have speech delay or they are still non-verbal kids. That is majorly because they have imbalance either in the left side of the brain or the right side of the brain. This causes speech delay. That is mainly because there is no proper neuronal plasticity or connections connecting two brains with each other. Just like how we are humans, we require food to live and engage and be functional in the environment. When there is no imbalance, when there is no neuronal plasticity in the brain wouldn't function properly, just like our human body. So the brain requires neuronal connections. Then only you will see a lot of good positive changes. Then only the brain starts functioning properly. And your parents also tell me you have been going to speech therapy for 3-4 years and your child is not yet speaking. And this is why, because no one understands brain imbalance properly. No one knows about the neuronal plasticity. This really causes speech delay. Just because we haven't functioned the right brain properly or the left side of the brain properly, we don't know which side we are functioning. And how can we know if the speech is going to work or not? Yes, parents, in today's video, we'll learn about how to improve speech and let's see and how to tackle these speech delay things. Let's go into today's video, parents. Well, parents, if you have been going to speech therapy for long years, I have seen patients even going to speech therapy for 3 to 4 years and yet they are still yet to talk. They're still non-verbal. That is majorly because there's both hemispheres having imbalances. Is it either right side or even left side? Majorly we see right side imbalance with these kids. That is because speech therapy will only help your child have structured speech, only improve the structured speech. But only sensory motor therapy will connect two brains with each other. That is why we need a lot of neuronal connections and plasticity in the brain for the brain to function properly, which directly affect the speech system and start speech. And this is how we have been doing in our center for all of kids. And we have seen crazy results with these kids. We have seen a lot of kids speak in just 12 sessions. We also had users who spoke in just 12 sessions last week. It was pretty surprising for us. And we haven't even seen one ADHD kid who spoke in just 5 sessions. And this is amazing because we know what we're doing with our results. So parents, work on the brain hemispheres and imbalances. If you're a parent of autism, ADHD, even just developmental delay, you must know that your kids keep repeating things. They love repeating. They're always in this repeat mode. Do the same thing again and again. Even if you see their speech, they love to repeat whatever you say. This is because the premotor cortex in the brain, the left hemisphere of the brain, it functions in the rapid form. And there is no output for it. There is no control out for it. So the only way we can tackle this is through not doing the same exercises. If you're going to OT center or speech center and they keep repeating the same exercises over and over again, this premotor cortex loves to repeat things. And what happens in the brain? The brain wouldn't function properly. So I always suggest you parents to do orbitary exercises. Orbitary mode of sensory motor therapy. Connect sensory input with motor output. That's the only way you can function properly the brain and make lot of neuronal connections. Then you can see a lot of improvements in your child's speech and communication. And if your child haven't even started talking, you can start speech with this method, parents. So brain loves repetitions, but not in a repetitive form. It loves in an orbitary form because the brain gets adapted easily. So parents, try new exercises and you will see the results. Hiding the therapy from you, where there is no transparency for you to see what your child is actually doing inside the therapy center. Well, we have been seeing this and I have been hearing this a lot, and a lot of patients and parents are very frustrated to take their child to a place where there is no transparency for both the parents and the child. Well, parents, these centers even cost around only $300 to $500 for a session. And a lot of parents fall in this trap, imagining that therapy should be very cheap, where they don't look into the quality, but they look into the quantity. Well, parents, I'll ask you a question. When you're going out with your family, you rather go to a restaurant where there's a good quality, where they serve you good food, but you wouldn't go to a street shop to eat, right? Well, the therapy should be also like that. Well, healthcare should be having a good quality. That is why we choose private hospitals rather than going to a government hospital. Well, parents, make sure you go to a good therapy center where they're transparent with their setting, with their exercises, where they teach, where there is communication with these therapists and parents. And majority of the centers use school students as a therapist, and there is no actual qualified or certified therapist doing therapy for your child. School students are doing therapy. So just make sure, parents, the therapy must be quality. Dietary changes, parents. Only our gut microbiome is properly functioning, then only the vagus nerve gets stimulated. What happens with a lot of kids with autism, ADHD, with majority of the developmental delays, they have inflamed gut, which causes constipation, gut bloating, a lot of other things that we can see, which means the brain wouldn't function properly. It's the vice versa effect. If the gut is not properly functioning, the brain wouldn't function. So, which has both imbalance in the both gut and even in the brain axis. So, parents, make sure you follow a good balanced diet, reduce carbohydrates, increase your fat content in your child's diet, also protein content. Majorly also use a lot of fibers in your diet and good olive oil source for your child's diet, because we have to increase the gut microbiome load and decrease the inflammatory load. Then only we can properly function the brain properly. As I told you, it's a vice versa effect. Only if this is functioned properly, the brain axis will function properly. And make sure, parents, you focus on your diet and diet changes for your child. Nutrition therapy is must. And lastly, parents, effort and hope is the key. Make sure you stimulate your child 24 hours in a week, which means 3.5 hours in a day, which concludes for 24 hours in 7 days. Make sure you repeat occupational therapy, speech therapy, ABA therapy, whatever therapy you're taking. You have to keep stimulating your child in a quality and give them rich sensory inputs. Make sure you give them rich sensory inputs, then only you will get good results and the brain will function properly. If you're giving like cheap sensory inputs, just rubbing your tactile brush on your child with different inputs, massaging them, giving them a lot of bedsheet wrappings, this is not a good quality approach, parents. Your child's emotional regulation will go down if you keep doing this. Trust me, I've been seeing a lot of patients who are coming to my center who have been doing this, and the emotional regulation is very bad. Make sure you teach them good, rich sensory input, and make sure your therapy is very quality, parents. Good luck, parents. I hope and give you a lot of hope to you to improve your child's health. Take care, parents. I will see you in your next video.